Hello, and in this 10-minute PD, we're going to keep that Google Keep train going, but I'm going to be thinking like a student. So I am logged into my student account right now. I've got my S in the corner, so I know I'm in my student account, and I'm going to go to Google Keep. So I'm going to click on the waffle, I'm going to find the icon, and I'm going to go to Google Keep. So I've used this in the past just because I've been working and figuring out how to make it all work. So I am going to delete that one. Nope, but I'm going to keep my other one because that's all about writing goals, which I think is a valuable one. This is something that I showed in another video about how teachers and students can communicate through Google Keep to keep their writing goals where they need to be. So let's think of like a student for a minute. And I'm going to take a few different ways of looking at this. So, one of them that I'm thinking of is doing research. So, when students are doing research, we often don't know the best way to keep them organized. Some students like their notebooks, some students want to do it online. Some students really don't know what they want to do when they can't keep their post it notes and everything's always a mess. So, let's think about another way that we could help students take notes. So, I am going to create a label. So I'm going to click edit label, and that's going to give me create a new label. And I'm going to be looking about immigration. Fourth grade's coming into that unit right now, and it's kind of on my brain. So I'm going to click on immigration. So now I have an immigration label. So if I click on that label, anything that I do right here is going to go right into that label. So how can I use this with research? So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Epic. And your students would normally have their class code. I unfortunately do not have classes here, so I'm going to log in as an educator. Oh, wait, I do have a class code on here as a student. And I am just going to click on Mr. B. Nope. So I took a second, pause the video, but now I've got my Epic figured out and I've got a class code that my student account can use. I'm going to go in as a guest. So while I'm in here, I'm just going to search immigration. And there's so many books that pop up. So I'm going to want mine to be nonfiction. And let's say I'm looking for about fourth grade. So let's just click in 9 years old, kind of get to where I need to be. And click show more. Let's see if I can find a book. Russian immigrants. Oh, this is the one I'm looking for. Angel Island. This is a great one that students can use. So while I'm in here, let's say I'm reading and I'm going through and I'm looking at all of these different things. And I think, you know what? I need to make a Google Keep of this. I am going to make sure that I have my Google Keep Chrome extension pinned. If your students do not have it, it is in the Chrome store. So if I do not have it, I'm going to click the plus sign, add a tab, click on Apps, Web Store. And within the web store, Google Keep is an option. So they would just have to click install, and I keep my pin. So I hit the puzzle piece and I make sure the blue pin is in it. So making sure your kids have the Chrome extension is very useful. So while I'm on this page, I am going to take a note here. And I'm going to call, what was this one? I think this one was all about Angel Island. And I could take some notes here. So I could think about things that I'm seeing. So men and women were separated to different dormitories, and kids under 12 were allowed to stay with their parents. Okay. So men and women were separated on the island, but kids under 12 were allowed to stay with their mothers. Okay. So I can see that it's saving. I am going to put a label of immigration on it. So now when I look at my Google Keep, it is now here. And when I click on it, it brings me to the book. So the only thing that I have learned through doing it, see how it says page 17 right here? Let's say you ended right on page 27. I'm going to X out my two epics and I'm going to click on this again. Usually it brings you to the page that you leave on. So I have encouraged students to put what page they are on just in case something happens. But do you notice how I click it? It brings me right there. It brings me right where I need it to be. Let's say I am using Kiddle. This is a website that is kid friendly, kind of the Google version of kid friendly. And I'm going to put immigration in. Let's see, I'm going to click on this one, Ellis Island. Dexter's is not the best website. It's not the great, it's just another website. So I could create a Google Keep. And I'm going to take a note. So title, and I'm going to title it Ellis Island. That's the main idea. So you can bring in that main idea thinking. And then I could say what it was. Okay. So it doesn't do bullet points here or check boxes, but you can make a little line, a little dash, and make your own bullet points. So largest immigration station open from 1892 to 1924. So I'm already putting things into my own words. So this would be kind of my boxes and bullets. My main idea is my title, and then I'm getting those bullet points in. Okay, so I could create it, make sure I put my label of immigration, and I'm done. So now I've got my Google Keeps. Now, how do they put this all together? So there's a few ways that if you wanted to do it. So if you're in Google Docs, I'm just going to say docs, and I go to a blank Google Doc. This Google Keep, my notes are right on the side. They're right on the side for me. So I could say, one main idea would be Ellis Island was opened and then I've got my notes. Oh, look, I can go 1892 and it closed its doors in 1924. I have my notes right there. Right there. So another thing, if your student writes a lot, so instead of writing it in boxes and bullets, they do it like this. If they right click, they can add it to their document. It adds the whole thing, but I also had my cursor right in the middle. So let's say I wanted to do it. I could select it and copy and paste. You can see if your kids are editing too, because I put page 17 in there. Or I could say 3 dots, add to document. There's 2 ways that I can do it. If I add it to document, it does give me the title and the hyperlink as well. But it's another option to help students get their writing going. So using Google Keep can help students with their research. So give that a try. Maybe you want to try it out. Maybe you want to play around with it for yourself, but let me know if you have any questions.